Hi, my name is Olivia Burley, and I'm presenting a project on the great question of who am I and as it relates to the Middle East. Who am I? It's a question of learning identity, whether your identity comes from yourself or from your surroundings. It's a great question about self-discovery and understanding. It goes beyond what your name is or where you're from. Identity comes from yourself, your surroundings. It comes from culture, relationships, experiences, labels that you hold yourself to, your strengths. Identity in the Middle East, I have found, is very complex because of the society's tradition and religion. I chose this question because I have found that in the Middle East, many people find themselves belonging in their culture, which is their form of identity, rather than individuality. It's more as a community. It interested me because it came from a culture that is one other than mine. I'm interested in what it means to come from a culture that you once belonged in because that's all you knew, but to go to a new culture and learn something new about yourself that you've never learned before. Being curious about your surroundings and in an unfamiliar place really teaches you a lot about yourself. All right, identity in the Middle East. Middle Eastern communities focus on family, religion, community. They're all tight-knit. Daily life is formed around tradition and values and morality. They have a collective identity, I've learned. All right, and I want to tie this into the film Lawrence of Arabia. The main character is T.E. Lawrence. He was a British officer. He was stationed during World War I in Arabia, and he found himself tied in with the culture. He came from British society and was learning the customs, the culture that was surrounding him, their clothes, the way that they interacted with each other, following day-to-day traditions. As he sees all these things, he finds himself deeply entwined with the Arabic community, and he begins to question his identity. All right, Lawrence eventually experiences identity conflict. As he begins to engage with the Arab customs and clothes, he's stuck between British identity yet Arab culture. He doesn't feel like he fits in or is accepted by either society. He feels confusion and isolation as he navigates this new idea of what it means to know who you are. When he realizes that what identity is, or even everyone learning about this as a whole, identity is not what you're born into, but what you make it. It is ever changing, evolving. For example, Lawrence finds his identity through being a leader. He also finds what it means to have a role of significance, and that is what helps him embrace his individuality and his idea of sense of self as a society. And the conclusion is, as an American white woman, my identity feels individualized just because of where I'm from. This topic has helped me learn much about T. Lawrence and his experience. Who am I? The great question, does not have a simple answer. Everyone feels individuality in different ways. Identity in the Middle East perspective is formed by culture, religion, and experience. Just like T.E. Lawrence experienced, even though he wasn't from the culture, he was able to experience that and grow his knowledge outside of British culture. Identity is not a fixed topic. It is always changing and evolving. Thank you.